The prosecution has cross-examined 3 key figures in the case of leaked presidential documents to determine their authenticity. A Korean Air vice president has stirred controversy after making a flight attendant get off the plane before takeoff for a breach of in-flight service rules with regards to a package of nuts. And the government says that it will raise cigarette prices next year, giving rise to illegal sales of tax-free cigarettes. The government plans a crackdown. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Tuesday, December 9th. I'm Luke Clary. The prosecution has cross-examined 3 key figures in the case of leaked presidential documents. Their testimonies and supporting evidence will be taken into account before the prosecution draws its conclusion on the authenticity of the memo.
At 2 a.m. on Tuesday morning, 3 key figures in the memo leak case leave the Prosecutors Office building after undergoing a 3-way cross-examination. The informant and former high-ranking official of the National Tax Service, known only as Mr. Park, went home without answering the reporters' questions. While Kim Choon-sik, a Cheong Wa Dae administrative official, claimed that there was no secret meeting and the truth will be revealed soon.
모임 자체는 없었고 그리고 그 진실에 대해서는 곧 밝혀질 겁니다. 그거는 오늘 진술에서도 충분히 다 이야기가 나왔다고 저는 생각하고 있기 때문에.
Police Superintendent Park Wan-cheon did not say much like the last time he was summoned.
저는 성실히 조사받았고 이미 그런 검찰에서 수사 중이기 때문에 제가 여기서 다시 언급하는 거는 적절치 않다고 봅니다.
The 3 men were cross-examined and individually questioned for 16 hours from Monday morning until 2 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Previously, the prosecution reported that informant Mr. Park's testimony differed from that of Superintendent Park's, who had written the memo. Administrative Officer Kim Choon-sik, on the other hand, had denied that any meeting had ever taken place. Such conflicting statements have prompted the prosecutors to arrange the 3-way cross-examination. The prosecution plans to draw its conclusion on the authenticity of the leaked documents within this week.
A Korean Air vice president has stirred controversy after making a flight attendant get off the plane before takeoff, complaining that the attendant failed to follow in-flight service rules with regards to a package of nuts. With criticism mounting against this executive, who is also the daughter of Korean Air's CEO, the government is reviewing the legitimacy of her disciplinary action.
Korean Air Executive Vice President Cho Hyun-ah boarded a plane heading from New York to Incheon last Friday. As takeoff procedures were underway, she began to reprimand a flight attendant who was serving nuts. She said that the flight attendant should have first asked the customers whether they wanted the nuts and served them on a plate, not in a bag. Cho then called in the chief flight attendant and asked him about the in-flight service rules. When he failed to answer in time, she loudly ordered him off the plane. The plane, which was being towed to a runway, was forced to return to the terminal. As a result, the plane carrying 250 passengers arrived at Incheon Airport 11 minutes later than scheduled. It is very rare that a plane returns to the terminal after beginning takeoff procedures, unless it experiences a mechanical problem or is carrying an emergency patient. Cho has come under fire for abusing her power as the vice president of the carrier and causing inconvenience to other passengers. The Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport launched an investigation into the case, saying that it will take appropriate action if the Korean Air executive is found to have violated the law.
An investigation into the sinking of the South Korean trawler, the Oryong 501, which sank in icy waters off the western Bering Sea on December 1st, has determined that key crew members, including the captain, were underqualified and did not observe legal embarkation standards.
The Busan Coast Guard investigating the sinking of the fishing trawler Oryong discovered that the ship's captain and 3 other key crew members were underqualified for their posts. The captain should have had a second mate's license, but only had a third mate's license. Meanwhile, the chief engineer, second mate, and first engineer did not have the appropriate certifications as well. On top of that, the Busan Coast Guard confirmed that the second and third engineers and the chief communications officer were omitted from the crew list submitted by shipowner Sajo Industries. The law dictates that the three officers should have boarded the ship.
인원이 부족하면 과로에 시달리고 위기 상황이 왔을 때 차분하게 위기 상황을 극복할 수 있는 역량이 나올 수 없다고 보여지죠.
The Coast Guard is focusing its investigation on the fact that the trawler had sailed without having the legally mandated crew members on board. The Busan Regional Maritime Affairs and Port Administration, overseeing the vessel embarkation process, explained that it only reviews papers for individual sailors and does not check whether a ship's embarkation requirements are met.
The government says that it will raise cigarette prices next year, but the scheduled price hike has given rise to illegal sales of tax-free cigarettes, a record number of sales this year, in fact, and the government has pledged a crackdown.
Seized tax-free cigarettes are stacked in a customs warehouse. The cigarettes were manufactured for export and exempted from taxes and smuggled back into Korea for domestic sale before being found by the customs service. Smugglers were caught removing the tax-free cigarettes from containers and filling them with bottles of soy sauce or makgeolli, a traditional rice wine, instead.
불법 유통업체들이 업체에서 이거를 수출을 막상 안 하고 국내로 좀 조폭들하고 같이 연계해가지고 국내로 반입을 시키는 거거든요.
The duty imposed on a pack of cigarettes sold for approximately $2.24 is about $1.39. The smugglers can pocket an amount equivalent to the tax by selling tax-free cigarettes in the domestic market. This is why the smuggling of tax-free cigarettes into the domestic market has been surging each year. This year, the value of smuggled tax-free cigarettes has topped $59 million. The government says that it will strengthen crackdowns ahead of increased cigarette prices to be implemented next year. The Korea Customs Service will receive information given by cigarette exporters to local governments and monitor distribution in real time. The Customs Service will also strengthen inspections at the airport, forbidding incoming travelers from carrying more than 1 carton of cigarettes per person.
Some teachers at family childcare facilities have gone on a 3-day vacation/strike. Now, there's been less confusion than feared prior to the collective break, but the issue of financial troubles for home childcare services remains unresolved.
Only one child came to this family childcare center, which used to take care of 10 children. That's because all of the teachers have taken part in a group vacation protest.
고민을 조금 많이 하다가 동참을 하기로 그렇게 했습니다. 해서 가정통신문이라든가 이런 거를 통해서 충분히 이해를 바란다라고.
The reason family childcare instructors have gone on vacation strike is because government childcare subsidies have been frozen for 4 years, but the number of children attending childcare centers has fallen, thereby increasing the burden of labor costs. There needs to be at least 3 instructors, 1 for each of the 3 classes for 0 to 2-year-olds. But government subsidies are allocated in accordance with the number of children in each class. When the capacity is not filled, childcare centers don't have enough money to pay their instructors.
아이가 결석을 했거나 이사를 갔거나 아니가 궁금한 게 아니고 이로 인해서 운영비가 지원이 중단이 돼서 선생님 급여를 온전하게 보존할 수 없는 구조가 돼 있다 보니
Without any viable solutions in sight, concerns are mounting for parents looking for quality childcare services.
Without a special device, it's nearly impossible for people with severe hearing disabilities or speech disorders to make a phone call. A smartphone app has been developed to help people with disabilities talk over the phone.
Ms. Kim Choon-sik has a hearing impairment. As she launches a smartphone app to make a phone call, she is directed to a communication relay center for people with disabilities. When she speaks to an intermediary agent in sign language, her message is translated for the recipient on the other end of the line.
안녕하십니까. 만나서 반갑습니다.
The center also translates what the call recipient says to Kim. The service is a convenient one for people with disabilities to handle various tasks, such as making hospital reservations or running errands at public offices. Until now, people with disabilities needed computers or video devices at home to talk with others. But the app will help free them to have phone conversations whenever and wherever they want.
제가 예전에 수화 통역이 필요할 때 직접 센터를 방문하거나 아니면 아는 사람을 구해서 도와달라고 요청을 했었는데 그래서 매우 불편했었거든요.
The app can be found and downloaded online for free. People with speech or language disorders can also make phone calls by sending text messages to the Communication Relay Center. There are approximately 250,000 people with hearing or speech disabilities in Korea. Information technology is helping them better communicate with others.
The Incheon Metropolitan City Dance Theater has a 30-year history and is one of the leading dance companies in Korea. Over the past 17 years, the theater has been staging performances for citizens at the end of each year to bring Korean dance closer to the public.
The dancers' moves look a bit awkward, but they're fully engrossed in the rehearsal. They're Incheon citizens who are preparing for a year-end concert held by the Incheon Metropolitan City Dance Theater.
오른발 구부리세요. 그래서 여기가 피는 게 아니라 이렇게.
From elegant yet vibrant movements with the fan to synchronized dancing. Each move they learn is a challenge, but their determination is as strong as that of professional dancers.
기량에 따라서 또 연세에 따라서 좀 약간 이렇게 차이는 있어요. 차이는 있지만 열정만큼 어느 누구 묻지 않거든요.
Dance practice continues at home as well. Choi Geum-yong, who turned 78 years old this year, is the oldest member of the team, but she never stops honing her skills by watching recorded rehearsals.
제가 이렇게 움직이니까 운동도 되고 너무 즐거워요. 또 남편이 옆에서 또 제가 이렇게 하면 봐줘요.
The Incheon Metropolitan City Dance Theater has been staging concerts featuring ordinary citizens since 1998 in a bid to publicize Korean dance. This year's concert will be held at the Incheon Culture and Arts Center on Wednesday.
The movie Interstellar has drawn over 9 million viewers in Korea and is well on its way to becoming the third foreign film in the country to draw 10 million moviegoers. Here's more from the world of culture.
Director Christopher Nolan's movie Interstellar is just a step away from drawing 10 million viewers in Korea. So far, the film has recorded 9.1 million viewers, surpassing Iron Man 3, which ranked third among foreign movies in Korea with 9 million viewers. As of yet, the only two foreign films that have drawn over 10 million moviegoers in Korea are Avatar and Frozen. The music group Super Junior has successfully held concerts at the Kyocera Dome in Osaka, Japan. The concerts took place on December 5th through the 7th, drawing some 135,000 fans and attesting to the skyrocketing popularity of Super Junior in Japan. The KBS Song Festival, held at the end of each year, will be held this year in a festive rather than competitive atmosphere. The festival will feature performances by 22 artists and music groups without giving out awards. The show will air on December 26th at 8:30 p.m. Korea Standard Time.
Soft, warm knitwear is perfect for the cold winter months. It's comfortable and goes well with other clothes in your wardrobe. Today, let's learn more about knitted items and how to take better care of them.
Winter is the season of knitwear. The market offers a wide variety of knitted clothing like sweaters of all different lengths, vests, and even skirts. The key to choosing perfect knitwear is the material.
보온성을 생각하신다면 캐시미어나 앙고라가 들어간 모호 제품을 사용하시는 게 좋고요. 활동성이 걱정이 되신다면 우레 면이 섞인 소재를 사용하시는 게.
Here's how to choose knitwear that flatters your body shape. If you want to accentuate your curvy lines, wear a tightly knitted item in such dark colors as gray or black. Your arms can look a little chubby if your sweater is too tight, so it's better to stick to a design with cotton sleeves. If you're thin, choose a bulky piece knitted with thick threads and that has big, twisty patterns. It's not easy to store knitwear since it's prone to wrinkling and shrinking. Here are some tips on knitwear upkeep. First, roll or fold the pieces gently and then pack them loosely into a drawer or a box. Newspapers come in handy when storing knitwear since they absorb moisture to keep the knitwear dry while keeping the pests away. For a thin knitwear that you wear often, fold it in half lengthwise and hang the arms and torso part over a hanger to maintain its shape. It's also important to wash knitted items properly.
세게 붓을 빨거나 혹은 세탁망에 넣고 세탁기에 돌리게 되면은 원상 복귀가 되지 않으니까 아주 줄어들게 되죠.
Here's how you can wash the knits at home. Wash them in pH-neutral detergent in lukewarm water. Be sure to button them up to keep their shape intact. Put the knitwear in a loosely woven basket or a strainer to prevent shrinking or twisting. Press down with a heavy object to keep them from floating up. After soaking it for 5 to 10 minutes, turn it over and soak again for the same amount of time. If you want to restore a shrunken knit piece, use hair treatment cream or hair conditioner. Put a shrunken sweater in lukewarm water and dissolve some hair conditioner. Then gently stretch the shrunken part. Knitwear should be dried by laying it out flat in a shaded area to help keep its shape. Be sure to keep these tips in mind when it comes to your knitwear this winter.
Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.